Namaste. Today, let us understand the types and genetic aspects of iron ore deposits formed by the chemical sedimentation processes. In this lecture, banded iron formation, abbreviated as BIF, Phanerozoic ironstones, and bog iron ores are considered. About 95% of the world's reserve base of iron ores, estimated at 230 billion tons, occurs in sedimentary ores. A meager about 5% belongs to all other categories combined, including magmatic, epigenetic hydrothermal, metamorphogenic, and residual concentration types, and ironstones and bog iron ores. About 90% of the world's total sedimentary iron ore or resources confined to 5 super large Precambrian iron ore deposits. They are Hamersley Basin in Australia, the Transvaal Greektown region of South Africa, the Minas Gerais in Brazil, the Labrador Trough region of Canada, and the Krivoy Rog Kursk magnetic anomaly region in Ukraine. Other important occurrences are evidenced in the Damar Belt in Namibia, the Elgorn Block in Australia, the Northern Basin in Western Australia, the Iron Ore Group and Dharwar Supergroup of India, the Lake Superior Province of USA, the Belzozoyersky-Komsky region in Ukraine, the Michipicoten, Canada, the Entei complex in Venezuela, and the Liberia-Sierra Leone, Guinea-Ivory Coast belt. In India, the reserve base stands at 12.1 billion tons and it ranks 6th in the world's iron ore resources. Virtually all Indian ore productions came from Precambrian deposits in Goa, Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, Bihar, and Orissa states. Iron ores can be grouped into number 1, banded iron formation, number 2, non-cherty iron stones, and number 3, bog iron ores. The BIF are known in different continents under terms banded hematite quartzite, banded magnetite quartzite, itabarite, jaspilite, taconite, etc. BIF is classified into 3 types: Algoma type, Lake Superior type, and Rapiton type, whereas non-cherty iron stones are classified into 2 types, namely Clinton type and Mineta type. The BIF ores are dominantly Precambrian. In fact, the great bulk of the banded iron formations of the world were laid down in a very short time interval of 2500 to 1900 million years ago. The amount of iron laid down during this period and still preserved is enormous and estimated at 10 to the power of 14 tons, possibly 10 to the power of 15 tons. Among the BIF subgroups, the submarine volcanic associated Algoma type BIF deposits were dominantly Archean, though younger Algoma type iron ores also known. The carbonate orthoquartzite associated shelf marginal basin deposits of the Lake Superior type BIF were almost exclusively of lower Proterozoic age. Rapiton type continental margin BIF deposits in glaciogenic sequences are essentially of upper Proterozoic age. The non-cherty ironstones of both Clinton and Minette type are exclusively Phanerozoic. The bog iron ores were formed on land from Carboniferous to recent types. Now let us understand more about banded iron formation. BIF is characterized by its fine layering. The layers are generally 0.5 to 3 centimeter thick, and in turn they are commonly laminated on a scale of millimeters or fractions of a millimeter. The layering consists of silica layers in the form of chert or better crystallized silica alternating with layers of iron minerals. The simplest and commonest BIF consists of alternate hematite and chert layers. James in the year 1954 identified 4 important phases of BIF. They are oxide, carbonate, silicate, and sulfide phases. Among these phases, oxide phases is the most important phases and it can be divided into hematite and magnetite subphases according to the presence of dominant iron oxide. There is a complete gradation between the 2 subphases. Hematite in least altered BIF takes the form of fine-grained grey or bluish specular. Oolitic texture is common in some examples, suggesting a shallow water origin, but in others the hematite may have the form of structureless granules. Carbonates such as calcite, dolomite and ankerite rather than siderite may be present. The chert varies from fine-grained cryptocrystalline material to mosaics of interground quartz grains. In the much less common magnetite subspecies, layers of magnetite alternate with iron silicate or carbonate and cherty layers. Oxide facies BAF typically averages 30 to 35% iron, and these rocks are commercially viable provided they are amenable to beneficiation by magnetic or gravity separation of the iron minerals. Carbonate facies commonly consists of interbanded chert and siderite in roughly equal proportions. It may grade through magnetite, siderite, quartz rock into the oxide facies, or by the addition of pyrite may grade into the sulphide facies. The siderite lacks oolitic or granular texture and appears to have accumulated as a fine mud below the level of water action. Coming to silicate facies, iron silicate minerals are generally associated with magnetite, siderite and chert, which form layers alternating with each other. This mineralogy suggests that the silicate facies are formed in an environment common to parts of the oxide and carbonate facies. However, of all the facies of BAF, the depositional environment for silicates is least understood. This is principally because of the number and complexity of the minerals and the fact that primary iron silicates are difficult to distinguish from low ranking metamorphic iron silicates. Probably primary iron silicates include granulite, chamosite and glauconite, some minnesotite and probably stipnomelane. Most of the iron in these minerals is in the ferrous rather than the ferric state, which, like the presence of siderite, suggests a reducing environment. Partial carbon dioxide may be important, a high value leading to siderite deposition, a lower one leading to non-silicate iron silicate formations. Carbonate and silicate facies BAF typically contain 25 to 30% of iron, which is too low to be of economic interest. They also present beneficiation problems. The fourth facies is sulphide facies. This consists of pyritic carbonaceous argillites and occur as thinly banded rocks with organic matter plus carbon making up to 78%. The main sulphide is pyrite, which can be so fine grained that its presence may be overlooked in hand specimens unless the rock is polished. The normal pyrite content is around 37% and the banding results from the concentration of pyrite into certain layers. This facies is clearly formed under anaerobic conditions. Its high sulfur content precludes its exploitation as an iron ore. However, it has been mined until recently for its sulfur content at Chivaletes in Czechoslovakia. Now, we shall understand the types of banded iron formations. Gras in the year 1971 reported two distinct types of BAF, that is the Algoma and the superior types, and the identity of the third group, that is the Rapitan type, as a distinct variety was also established by Trendall and Dorr in their separate reports in the year 1973. The Algoma type is encountered in Archean high-grade terrains and widespread development of it is seen in Archean greenstone belts. It also occurs in younger rocks including the Phanerozoic. It shows a Greyvac volcanic association suggesting a geosynclinal environment, and the oxide, carbonate and sulphide facies are present with iron silicates often appearing in the carbonate facies. Algoma type BAF generally ranges from a few centimeters to 100 or so meters in thickness and is rarely more than a few kilometers in strike length. Exceptions to this observation occur in Western Australia, where late Archean deposits of economic importance extending to several kilometers are found. In the Algoma type BAF, oolitic and granular textures are absent or inconspicuous, and the typical texture is a streaky lamination. A close relationship in time and space to volcanic rocks hints at a volcanic source of the iron, and many investigators regard the deposits of this type as being exhalative in origin. Goodwin, in a study of the Algoma type BAF in the Canadian Shield, showed that the facies analysis was a powerful tool in elucidating the paleogeography and could be used to outline a large number of Archean basins. The Algoma type BAF ideally belongs to sedimentary ores with discrete hydrothermal sources, recognizable through their association with volcanics of island arc affinity and occasional massive sulfides, as well as their REE and other geochemical signatures. In the Michipicotin basin, the mineralogical facies of the BAF closely parallels the lithofacies variations in the associated clastites, pyroclastics and carbonate rock types, and this feature clearly indicates a depth controlled variation of the ore facies. The common occurrence as lengths of few kilometers strike and the distribution along several stratigraphic levels strongly suggest that their formation is often a local and recurrent phenomenon, where much like some volcanogenic massive sulfide deposits and is related to periodic pulses of hydrothermal activity. Additional interest in the Algoma type of BAF stems from their hosting of gold ores, particularly in the sulfide facies in association with arsenopyrite, as seen in Kerr Addison mine near Lardar Lake, Ontario. However, the primary origin of gold in BAF is questioned by many workers who assign epithermal or metamorphogenic derivation of gold from mafic and ultramafic rocks of the greenstone sequence. Large deposits of Algoma type BAF of Middle Archean age occur in the Guyanan and Liberian shields in West Africa. Other important occurrences are Intaka complex, Venezuela, Belzorowski-Koski, Ukraine, Bihar-Orissa iron ore group in India, Michipicotin in Canada, deposits in Elgon block greenstone belt in Australia, and Abitibi greenstone belt in Canada. The second type of BAF is called superior type. These are thinly banded rocks mostly belonging to the oxide, carbonate and silicate facies BAF. They are usually free of clastic material. The rhythmic banding of iron rich and iron poor chert layers, which normally range in thickness from a centimeter or so up to a meter, is a prominent feature, and this distinctive feature allows correlation of BAF over considerable distance. Individual parts of the main Dales George member of the Hammersley-Brockman BAF of Western Australia can be correlated at the 2.5 centimeter scale over about 50,000 square kilometers, and correlation of wharfs within chert bonds can be made on a microscopic scale over 300 kilometer. Superior type BAF stratigraphically are closely associated with quartzite and block carbonaceous shale, and usually also with conglomerate, stromatolitic limestone, dolomite, massive chert, chert breccia and argillite. Volcanic rocks are not always directly associated with this BAF, but they are nearly always present in the stratigraphical column. Superior type BAF may extend for hundreds of kilometers along strike and thicken from a few tens of meters to several hundred meters. The successions in which these BAF occur usually lie unconformably on high metamorphosed basement rocks with the BAF, as a rule in the lower part of the succession. In some places, they are separated from the basement rocks by only a meter or so of quartzite, grit and shale, and in some parts of the Gunflint Range, Minnesota, they rest directly on the basement rocks. The development of superior type BAF reached its acme during the early Proterozoic. Superior type BAF frequently extended right around early Proterozoic sedimentary basins, and Gross suggested that superior type BAF was once present around the entire shoreline of the Ungawa Craton for a distance of more than 3,200 kilometers. The associated rock sequences and sedimentary structures indicate that superior type BAF formed in fairly shallow water on continental shelf marginal basins, in evaporitic bared basins, on flat prograding coastlines, or in intracratonic basins. Trendall suggested that the rhythmic microbands of the Hammersley group closely resemble evaporitic wharfs, that a common origin is probable. He suggested that the banding originated by the annual accumulation of iron-rich precipitates whose deposition was triggered by evaporation from a partially enclosed basin with an average water depth of about 200 meters. Superior type deposits of BIF of large dimensions are Biwabik and the Mesabi range in Lake Superior Province, USA, Labrador, Cape Smith, Tasman, marginal basins around the Ungawa Craton in the Labrador Trough region, in Krivoy Rog Kursk magnetic anomaly region in Ukraine, the Transvaal Grickertown region in South Africa, Minas Gerais in Brazil, the Hammersley Basin in Australia, etc. The third and last type is Rapien type BIF. It occurs as lenses of interbedded massive hematite and red jasper and is more restricted in extent and thickness than the Clinton and superior types of BIF. It is usually hosted in dimensionite and is associated with glaciogenic siliciclastic. Rapien type BIF occurs exclusively as oxide facies. It contains significant amounts of manganese, which often grades to iron manganese and manganese iron ores. Its RE patterns are very similar to modern seawater pattern. It exhibits negative to slightly positive europium anomaly. Ores are depleted in LRE, which suggests very little influence of hydrothermal inputs. Rapien type BIF ores are of late Proterozoic in age, and its formation coincides with the interglacial period of a major transgressive event. Inferred tectonic setting of deposition was in narrow continental rift basins during early stage of cratonic rift under fluvio-glacial conditions. The Rapien type BIF is associated essentially with continental sequence with marine incursions and without any volcanics. Rapien type BIF deposits occur as a basal unit of the Windermere supergroup sequence, which lies in a sinuous rift belt from Alaska to Mexico. Rapien type BIF are also encountered in a few localities in northwest Canada. Now, let us consider the genetic aspects of BIF. There is general agreement that BIF are chemically or biochemically precipitated. Blue-green algae and fungi have been identified in the Gunflint Iron Formation of Ontario, and some of these resemble present-day iron precipitating bacteria, which can grow and precipitate ferric hydroxide under reducing conditions. However, there is no agreement on the sources of the iron. One school considers that this was derived by erosion from nearby land masses, and another school believes that it is of volcanic exhalative origin. One major drawback to the terrestrial derivation is that if large amounts of iron silica were transported from the continents, large quantities of aluminous material must either have been left behind obviously to form bauxite, or transported and dispersed in the sea with or not far from the iron deposits. No such residual bauxites or aluminous sediments have been discovered. On the other hand, Miller and Onios gave an estimate for submarine hydrothermal supply of iron to the present oceans of less than or almost equal to 10 giga kg per annum. Yet, it is claimed that the BIF of Hammersley Basin of Western Australia alone required about 10 giga kg per annum. Miller and Moniz concluded that a major contribution of iron from the continents did occur unless the hydrothermal iron output during the Proterozoic was overwhelmingly greater than the present day one. On the other hand, from their study of the isotopic composition of neodymium in the Hammersley and Michipicotin BAF, Jacobson and Pimentel-Close concluded that much of the iron in BAF was leached by hydrothermal water circulating through Archean mid-ocean ridge systems. The mechanism of transport of the iron is also hotly debated. Today, with an oxygen-rich atmosphere, very little iron is transported to the oceans in ionic solution, and most travel in colloidal solution or as particulate matter and is deposited mainly in muds. There is no true Phanerozoic analogous of the BAF of early Proterozoic. For those who advocate a CO2 rich oxygen poor early, that is Archean atmosphere, the explanation is simple. That is, iron could then travel as the bicarbonate in ionic solution, and since aluminum does not form a bicarbonate, the two would be separated. With the significant development of oxygen in the atmosphere, large scale formation of BAF would cease. Garrels assumed transport of iron in the ferrous state and developed a quantitative model for the deposition of iron in large basins, to which it was carried in stream waters and precipitated by evaporation to produce iron mineral chert valves like those described from BAF in many parts of the Precambrian, but especially well developed in the Hammersley group of Western Australia. Conversely, Kimberley, after careful and lengthy appraisal of the genesis of BAF, concluded that all iron formations are the result of exhalative activity. According to Kimberley, Cherty iron formations, the principal facies of supertype BAF, resulted from low temperature, that is 300 degrees centigrade hydration of newly formed igneous crust by circulating seawater in convection cells. Thus, he thinks the marked production of Cherty iron formations in the early Proterozoic and much smaller but significant development in the late Proterozoic to particularly rapid crustal accumulation in opening rifts, followed by abrupt failure of the rift and hydration of the new crest. Kimberley provided two evidences in support of his views. Number one, evidence of Phanerozoic deposition of small Cherty iron formations with rifts, a possible modern analog in Red Sea, and number two, evidence of recent exhalative iron deposition in Venezuela in favor of this theory. Kimberley attributes non-Cherty iron formation to seismic pumping of seawater along strike slip or transform pods that pass through ophiolite bearing sedimentary successions along continental margins, where the iron dissolving waters have become hypersaline because they were pumped through evaporates or cooling plutons. These fluids are believed to have been modified by ascent through argillaceous sediment, leading to cooling and loss of silica. Morris in the year 1993 has proposed a convincing genetic model for the evolution of Hammersley group of BAF. The Hammersley province is distinctive among BAF provinces in being the largest single depository system in the world and yet not having any lateral facies changes within it, unlike most other BAF provinces of the superior type. The Hammersley province is unique in its lateral stratigraphic and petrological continuity throughout an area exceeding 60,000 square kilometers. This geological setting provides opportunity for reasonable estimates for the annual input of components to the depository. Varying supply of materials for the medley of mesoband types, particularly iron and silica in the oxide facies BAF, can be accommodated by the interaction of two major oceanic supply systems, number one surface currents and number two convective upwelling from mid-oceanic ridge or hotspot activity, both modified by varied output of pyroclastic material. The surface currents were periodically recharged by storm mixing. Precipitation from them gave rise to the banded chert-rich horizons, including the wharfs whose regular and finely laminated iron silica distribution resulted from seasonal meteorological influences. Precipitation from convection-driven upwelling of high iron solutions from mid-oceanic ridge or hotspot activity periodically overwhelmed by the delicate seasonal patterns of silica saturated surface currents to produce the iron dominated mesobands. Intermediate mesoband types resulted where the deep water supply was modified by varied MOR activity or by partial blocking of upwelling waters by surface currents, such as by present El Nino. During these periods of oxide dominated BAF, silica was deposited from saturated solution mainly by evaporative concentration and iron by oxidation due to photolysis and photosynthetically produced oxygen. Superposed on these supply difference was the varying ash from distal volcanic sources, changing the meteorological and depositional conditions. Occasional input of extremely fine ash during BIF precipitation produced mesoband in centimeter scale variations involving increased carbonate silicate precipitation. Sustained volcanic periods resulted in S microband deposition, that is chert carbonate silicate bearing BIF with shale gradually returning to the dominant hematite magnetite chert bearing BIF as the volcanic input waned. During volcanic periods, the normally high capacity of sunlight to precipitate ferric iron directly by photolytic oxidation of ferrous iron and by photosynthetic production of oxygen was modified by turbidity in the atmosphere and in the water. Surface precipitated ferric hydroxy oxide redissolved in the presence of decaying organic matter in the subphotic zone, augmenting the iron content of the zone. Precursor ferrous carbonates and silicates were precipitated when the iron concentration of this subphotic zone exceeded their respective solubilities. During volcanism, the increased availability of nutrients, particularly phosphorus, to surface water increased the organic contribution despite lower solar light values, leading to an almost total absence of ferric iron oxides in the S mesobands, that is no magnetite or hematite. Cooling of warm silica saturated seawater during these periods of volcanic winter increased the ratio of precipitation of silica to iron, which however was still controlled by seasonal conditions. Intermediate concentrations of organic matter insufficient to totally convert the ferric compounds either during precipitation or diagenesis resulted in the overgrowths of magnetite on hematite and eventually in the substantial conversion of hematite to magnetite during low grade regional metamorphism. The conditions involved in the abogenetic model are: number 1, a very low oxygen to anoxic atmosphere, and number 2, a much higher level of MOR activity than at present. Number 3, the presence of photosynthetic plankton. Number 4, the absence of silica secreting organisms, and number 5, a deep seawater temperature higher than 20 degrees centigrade. However, several decades of investigation on the genetic aspects of BIF did not provide universally acceptable views on source of iron and silica, mechanism and conduit of their selective transportation to the exclusion of other components, and site and environment of deposition, and lastly, mechanism of development of banding. In spite of the prevailing diversity of views, the current models seem to be converging on some common grounds. They are an anoxic to very low oxygen contemporary atmosphere, presence of photosynthetic planktons, and absence of silica secreting organisms are generally agreed upon. Depositional basins in intracratonic continental margin and isolated platformal settings considered for superior type deposits in different areas seems to be acceptable. Preponderant role of the ocean as the immediate reservoir, irrespective of whether iron was derived from terrigenous sources as fine clastics and or in solution from submarine hydrothermal discharge along mid-oceanic ridge or hotspots for all deposits except those in strictly intracratonic basins seem acceptable to most. Now, let us take up some case studies. The first one is the Lake Superior region, United States of America. Lake Superior region, located west and south of Lake Superior, was one of the greatest iron ore districts of the world. In the western part of this region, BIF is exploited in 4 mining districts. They are Vermilion, Gunflint, Gogebic and Kuyana mining districts. The western part of the region can be divided into 3 major units: a basement complex which is more than 2600 million year old, a thick sequence of weakly to strongly metamorphosed sedimentary and volcanic rocks called the Marquessate Range supergroup, and the younger Precambrian volcanics and sediments. Banded iron formation is mainly developed in the Marquette Range supergroup, but in the Vermilion mining district, it is present in the basement. In this mining district, there is a great thickness of mafic to intermediate volcanic rocks and sediments. Banded iron formation, mainly of oxide facies, occurs at many horizons, generally as thin units, rarely more than 10 meter thick, but the pseudo iron formation is much thicker and has been mined extensively. The remaining iron ore of this region comes from the Menominee group of the Marquette Range supergroup. All the iron formations of this group in the different mining districts are approximately of the same age. The Marquette Range supergroup shows a complete transition from a stable craton to deep water conditions. Clastic rocks were first laid down on the beveled basement, but most of those were removed by later erosion, and in many places the Menominee group rests directly on the basement. Iron formation is the principal rock type of this group. Despite the approximate stratigraphical equivalence of the major iron formations, they differ greatly from one mining district to another in thickness, stratigraphical detail and facies type. They appear to have been deposited either in separate basins or in isolated parts of the same basin or shelf area. The only evidence of contemporaneous volcanism is the occurrence of small lava flows in the Gunflint and Gogebic mining districts. It has been suggested apropos this region that volcanism appears to have been detrimental rather than conducive to iron concentration. The BIF of the Mesabi and Gunflint is discontinuous but constitutes a single body. It is 100 to 200 meter thick and consists of alternate units of dark, non-granular, laminated rock and cherty granule bearing irregularly to thickly bedded rock. The granules are mineralogically complex, containing widely different proportions of iron silicates, chert and magnetite. Some are rimmed with hematite. The iron formation of the Kuyana mining district consists principally of 2 subfacies, thin bedded and thick bedded, which differ in mineralogy and texture. The first is evidently layered and laminated, the layers carrying varying proportions of chert, siderite, magnetite, stipnomelane, minestotite and chlorite, while the second contains evenly bedded and wavy bedded rock in which chert and iron minerals alternately dominate in layers 2 to 30 meter thick. Granules and oolites are present. In the Gogebic district, the iron formation is 150 to 310 meter thick and consists of an alternation of wavy to irregularly bedded rocks characterized by granule and oolitic textures. The iron in the irregularly bedded rocks is principally in the form of magnetite and iron silicates, and granule textures are common. The evenly bedded iron formation is mineralogically complex, consisting of chert, siderite, iron sulfates and magnetites. Each mineral may dominate a given layer and may be accompanied by one or more of the other minerals. Now we shall understand Adams Sherman Algoma type BIF deposits of Ontario, Canada. Adams mine is located south of Kirkland Lake region and the Sherman deposit in the Temagami district. Both are part of the Archean Abitibi belt. The Adams ore body is composed of thinly laminated magnetite quartz belts of the Boston Iron Formation, a layer that varies in thickness up to several hundred meters and that extends for more than 10 km along strike. The BIF averaging 27% iron is magnetically upgraded to provide pellets of 60 to 63% iron content. The ores at places contain troublesome amounts of pyrite and minor hematite and jasper. The BIF have been mildly contorted, although soft sediment slumpy structures are most common. Minor amounts of exhalative indicating elements such as nickel, chromium, manganese, barium and traces of gold are reported. The lowest cycle of iron formation at the Adams mine is underlined by massive flows of tholeiitic basalt containing pillows. Small lances of lean iron formation are interbedded in these flows. Well-bedded felsic tuffs lie above a sharp contact with the mafic volcanics. These tuffs may be absent or range up to tens of meters thick. They commonly contain interbedded iron formation. A layer of nodular and fine-grained disseminated sulfides from several centimeters to 10 meters thick rests on top of the tuffs. Above the sulfide layer, lean, cherty, low iron ironstone sediments are found. Finely laminated chert and magnetite are interbedded and subsequent metamorphism has destroyed of the faint layering. Going up in the sequence, the amount of magnetite with respect to chert increases and magnetite layers thicken. Hematite occurs in magnetite bands, giving them a reddish coloration, and garnet, tremolite, actinolite, pyrite and chlorite are also present. Above the ore unit, lean iron formation with iron content less than 5% reappears. On the BIF, a horizon of graphitic sulfidic tuff that may be up to 3 meters thick is present. It is overlain by 200 to 300 meter thick chert derived quartzite. Sedimentary deposition ended by fissure volcanism that produced mafic and ultramafic flows unrelated to previous felsic activity. The iron formation units are overlain by comitiites with spinifex texture. The Adams ore are intimately related to proximal submarine volcanism. Sherman mines ores at Temagami are also magnetite quartz rich, mainly well banded grey to white magnetite chert rocks, but they contain more jasper and less pyrite and show only mild green schist grade metamorphic effects. The iron formation averages about 60 meters in thickness for 2 km of strike length. Maximum thickness is 100 meter. Interbedded tuffs a few centimeters thick are composed of chlorite and stipnomelane. The ore averages 25 to 30% iron and permits pellets of 65% iron. BIF lies stratigraphically between layered flows and volcanoclastic rocks. The basal units include an andesite unit that has been fractured to the verge of brecciation and silicified by hot spring fluids presumed to have been entering the basin at the time of deposition. The finely laminar BIF units show soft sediment deformation and are exemplary of Algoma type. The second major type of iron ore deposits formed by the chemical sedimentation processes is ironstones. Phanerozoic ironstones are usually classified into two types, Clinton and Minette, but both are now of very diminished economic importance as they are of low grade and impossible to beneficiate economically on account of their silicate mineralogy. They are moving as it were from the category of reserve to that of the resource, even though there are still many megations in the ground. The Clinton type oolitic iron ore is characterized by the absence of cherts, presence of hematite and chamosite oolites, occasional diagenetic siderite and rare iron sulfide, relatively high PtO5, Al2O3 and MgO when compared to BAF, reflect in the presence of high aluminosilicates like chamosite and berthierine, and lastly the absence of any facies variation as well as herringbone crash stratification implying intertidal deposition. Clinton type ironstones form lenticular beds usually 2 to 3 meter thick and never greater than 13 meter. The commonest lithostratigraphic package for oolitic ironstone is a shallow water-clastic sequence of basinal shale to pro-delta siltstone and sandstone to shallow subtidal siltstone to ironstone, and this package is indicative of ore formation at the top of a regressive cycle. According to Evans, ironstone appear to have formed in a shallow water along the margins of continents, on continental shelves or in shallow parts of myogeosynclines. Ironstones are common in sedimentary rocks of Cambrian to Devonian age. Some of the best examples are Ordovician Wabana, Newfoundland, Silurian Clinton Formation, Newark. Oolitic ore at Wabana occurs as beds that are a few centimeter to 10 meter thick and lie within the upper 15 meter of a sequence of Ordovician sandstone and shales. Shallow water to subaerial depositional conditions are evidenced by raindrop imprints, ooites, cross-bedding, mud cracks, and the presence of shallow water marine fossils such as brachiopods and trilobites. The ooites consist of concentric shells of hematite and chamosite in places embedded in a siderite matrix. The ore averages 51.5% of iron, 11.8% of silicon dioxide and 0.9% of phosphorus. Oolitic iron ore in the Clinton Formation crops out intermittently from upper New York State southward into Alabama. The Clinton Formation is composed of thin bedded iron sandstone, shale and oolitic hematite. Three types of ores have been mined in Alabama state. Number 1, oolitic, in which the hematite forms oolites generally in a hematite calcite or siliceous matrix. Number 2, flaxseed, in which the hematite forms small flat grains or flattened oolites. And number 3, fossil ore, in which hematite has replaced numerous fossils. The Clinton Formation exhibits cross-bedding, mud cracks, animal tracks, oolitic structures and shallow water features. The iron ores are of shallow marine origin. The second type of iron ore stone is Minetta type. These are the most common and widespread iron stones. The principal minerals are siderite and chamosite. The chamosite often occurs as oolites. The ore contains around 30% iron, while lime runs for about 5 to 20% and silica is usually above 20%. Minetta ironstones are particularly widespread and important in the Mesozoic of Europe. Examples being the ironstones of the English Midlands and the Minette ores of Alsace-Lorraine in Germany. The oolitic ironstones of Alsace-Lorraine, which have fed the steel mills of Europe for decades, are in Middle Jurassic shales, sandstones and marls. The ooites consist dominantly of limonite, though siderite, chlorite, chamosite and hematite are also present. The iron minerals precipitated have chemically and diagenetically replaced original calcite oolites as they did in the Clinton ironstones. One more important type of iron ore deposits formed by the chemical sedimentation processes is bog iron ores. Bog iron ores are formed in peat bogs, marshes, swamps and lakes in regions of Pleistocene glaciation and in volcanic lakes. These ores constituted a minor source of iron in the early industrial era and later during emergency. Lake ores are known from Ontario and Quebec in Canada, in the eastern USA and the Scandinavian countries, where the ores are formed as oolitic goethite in agitated waters along the lake margins. Volcanic lake ores, well developed in central Honshu, Japan and in the Kurile Islands, are made up of purely limonitic material with up to 50% iron and owe their origin to thermal springs. Bog iron ores develop best in regions with cool, humid climate, ill-developed drainage systems and high water table. To summarize the talk of the day, there are 5 super large Precambrian iron ore districts. They are Hammersley Basin in Australia, the Transvaal Greektown region in South Africa, Minas Gerais in Brazil, the Labrador Trough region in Canada and the Krivoy Rog Kursk magnetite anomaly region in Ukraine. These 5 deposits together make up about 90% of the world's sedimentary iron ores. Iron ores can be grouped into banded iron formation, number 2 non-silty Phanerozoic ironstones and number 3 bog iron ores. Banded iron formation is classified into 3 types. The one is Algoma type, the second one is Lake Superior type and the third one is Rapitan type. Ironstones are classified into 2 types, Clinton type and Minette type, both are of Phanerozoic in age. Bog iron ores of little economic significance were formed on land from Carboniferous to recent times. The BIF are dominantly of Precambrian in age. Great bulk of the BIFs of the world was laid down in a very short time interval of 2500 to 1900 million years ago. Among the BIF groups, the submarine volcanic associated Algoma type BIF are dominantly Archean, while the carbonate orthoquartzite associated shell or marginal basin deposits of the Lake Superior type BIF are exclusively of lower Proterozoic age. Rapitan type continental margin BIF deposits in glaciogenic sequences are essentially of upper Proterozoic age. The simplest and commonest BIF consists of alternate layers of chert and layer of iron minerals. This type of banding or lamination is clearly seen in oxide facies BIF. 4 facies of BIF are known. The oxide facies is the most important one and provides the bulk of iron ore mined. It can be divided into hematite and magnetite subfacies according to which iron oxides is dominant. Carbonate facies commonly consists of interbedded chert and siderite in about equal proportions. In silicate facies, iron silicate minerals are generally associated with magnetite, siderite and chert, which form layers alternating with each other. Sulfide facies BIF is thinly banded rock with pyritic carbonaceous argillites, in which pyrite content is around 37% and carbon content makes up to 7 to 8%. Superior type BIFs were formed in fairly shallow water on continental shelves, in euphoretic basins, on flat prograding coastlines or intracratonic basins. Dolomite sandstone shale are typically associated with superior type BIFs, and this association indicates deposition in stable continental shelf environment. Now coming to Algoma type BIFs are associated with volcanics intercalated with gravax derived from older bimodal tholeiitic and calcaline series similar to those in modern island arcs. Algoma type BAFs are encountered in early Archean high-grade terrains and late Archean greenstone belts. Rapidon type BAFs were deposited in narrow continental rift basins during early stage of cratonic rift under fluvio-glacial conditions and are associated with continental sedimentary sequences with marine incursions without any volcanics. Phanerozoic ironstones are usually classified into two types, Clinton and Minette, but both are now of much diminished economic importance owing to their silicate mineralogy. Clinton type ironstones form 2 to 3 meter thick massive beds of oolitic, hematite, chamosite, siderite rock and are free from cherts. Minette type ironstones consist of siderite and oolitic chamosite. Minette ironstones are widespread in the Mesozoic of Europe, for example in English Midlands and Luxembourg. Bog iron ores are found in peat bogs, marshes, swamps and lakes in regions of Pleistocene glaciation and also in volcanic lakes. Lake ores are known from Ontario and Quebec in Canada and in Scandinavian countries. Volcanic lake ores are found in central Honshu, Japan. The ores contain essentially limonite. Jai Hind.